everyone. I have my Cut to You design team layout to share with you today. I'm going to be using this really fun title piece that says "You Are My Sunshine," but it's me, so we're going to jazz it up a bit. So this particular layout is one where I started with a photo that I wanted to scrapbook, and I'm going to use lots of bits and pieces from my stash to have so that the layout is going to match the colors of my photo. I put just a teeny tiny bit of tape runner onto the back of that cut file, and I'm going to use my T-square ruler. I'm just going to tack down this cut file just ever so slightly, just a touch. And then I'm going to take, I have 3 different Distress Oxide ink colors here. I have dried marigold, fossilized amber, and abandoned coral. And I'm going to use those 3. Oh, first I'm going to kind of level up my cutting mat, my glass mat here. And then I'm going to use my blending tools and these 3 colors, and I'm going to do some ink blending right over both the title piece and the oh my gosh, I can't talk. The white cardstock. There we go. That's it. That's the word. So I'm going to keep a little of this like ink blending in here for you. If I sound a little stuffy or worse, it's because I have a stupid cold that won't go away. Although, for as late as this video goes up, by the time this video goes up, I probably will have already had to shoot a couple of videos with a terrible, horrible, hideous, no good, very bad, blah cold. But anyway, okay, so I'm going to use these 3 colors. I'm going to ink blend them all together. I am ink blending both the cut file and the background piece of cardstock. I want a really good blend between the colors, but I don't want to get fingerprints on my page. So I'm going to move this sheet of scratch paper around and use it to kind of hold everything in place. Because remember that the cut file is held onto the sheet of paper just by 2 teeny tiny little bits of tape. So it will move around if I don't hold it steady. But I don't want any fingerprints. So that's what I'm using. That piece of, that's just copy paper. It's not anything big or special. Next, I put a smoosh of each of my ink colors onto my glass media mat. I added lots of water so that I would have beautiful splatters, and I'm going to go ahead and splatter over the background. You can see here how I've taken away the cut file. We're going to bring it back again for the finished layout, but for the splatters I just kind of pulled it off. Now I've gone away. I've gone and put that piece of white cardstock off to the side to dry. And I went through my 6x6 paper pads and I found all the pieces of paper that I could that I thought would coordinate with the colors in my photo. So we have a little bit of Maggie Holmes in there. I think most of these are crepe paper, but some of them are pink paisley. I really just went through all the different 6x6 paper pads I had and came up with like my own collection of papers. And I'm going to use them now to go ahead and back the sunshine portion of my cut file, just the sunshine word. I'm going to back each letter with a different pattern paper. So I have some yellows, some pinks, and then I also have some cork type of pattern that I thought would work really well and give a little bit of contrast onto my finished product. So I ended up adding just a tiny bit of Distress Oxide ink just to a couple of very small areas of this particular cut file. The reason I did that was just, again, to give it some contrast away from the background, and also because I'm going to add some brown paper to the back of my photo. There's a little bit of brown in my photo, and I just thought it would help the whole look of my page, and in the end it does. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to place the background down directly on top of the shadow that's on my layout, and then I'm going to work my way around. Now I left some open spaces, and I'm going to fill in behind the cut file with some embellishments as I work through my layout. So now I'm going to take all those bits and pieces of pattern paper that I pulled from my 6x6 paper pads, and I'm going to layer them and layer them and layer them and layer them. I'm going to cut them down. I'm going to cut them in half. I'm going to ink the edges, and I'm really just going to add layer on top of layer on top of layer of all of these patterns until I am happy with the look of them. There's really no rhyme or reason to this. There's no method, maybe, other than starting with patterns that complement each other and that match my photo. So I'm just going to keep going on here, cutting down paper and matting my photo with all the layers. Even teeny tiny little pieces. So I'm going to cut 2 rectangles here from these patterns, and I'm going to kind of put them off to the side. And you'll see me here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to kind of put them, where did I go? Why do I do this? Why don't I cut these parts of my video out? So now I'm doing it, right? Okay, so we have this little piece of rectangles, and I decide that I want to add and use these little pieces as the bases for some lovely little clusters. So part of what I pulled out of those 6x6 paper pads were some cut apart sheets, and then I cut the cut apart sheets into elements that I thought I would want to use. And I'm going to use those elements here to create 2 clusters. So I've gone through my stash. Oh, and apparently I'm answering my phone. That was my, yeah, okay. I've gone through my stash. I pulled some puffy stickers. I pulled some little bits and pieces. But I will tell you right now that my dogs are barking. Man, this is a train wreck of a voiceover, guys. I'm so sorry. I blame the cold medicine. I went through my stash. I pulled some bits and pieces. Now, some of the things that I placed on this particular layout here are going to disappear, because what I did was I thought I was done. So I went through, I placed these things down. I wasn't happy with it, but I was also super frustrated, and I didn't know what on earth I was going to do to kind of make it better. So what I did was I just kind of stopped, walked away, came back the next morning, and added a whole swath of like circles and sequins, and it totally brought this layout together. So this video is going to end just like this, but then all of the close-ups and everything are going to have all the last little details I added to this layout. And so you can see here in the close-ups how I added some polka dot sequins from Spiegel Mom Scraps, lots of circles from this beautiful sticker sheet from Fancy Pants Designs, and I jazzed up this layout, and now I love it. You can see more of the photographs over on the Cut to You blog post. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye!